Boom. If you're listening, rate, share, subscribe. If you're listening, you could also watch BigMood TV. Check out our YouTube channel. But check out my Instagram as well, Eric_BigMoodCoach. Honestly, that's where you get a very clear depiction of who the fuck I am as a person. Authentic. There's no holes in my game, son. There's no holes in my game. It's consistent. And it's consistent, and it's all about wanting to connect with each other. I say this every podcast episode, but it's been like my lifelong dream. And I know there's lonely kids out there, and there's lonely women out there, and there's just lonely people who are desperate to connect. And I hope my Instagram and I hope our podcast is a conduit of connection. Conduit of connection. So I'm hoping people feel like they can come listen to this and feel like, oh, yes, me too. I am a human too. I feel that too. My friend felt that. My cousin went through that. I hope that's what I'm hoping for. You know, we talked about it's not a recovery podcast. It's not a recovery podcast. We've had CEOs on here. We've had doctors on. We've had a wide range of people on. So it's not a recovery podcast. It's a human podcast. It's about people. Anyway, so go to Eric_BigMoodCoach and you'll find everything that I do. Transformational mentorship. That's big work that we're doing. We're working with the county of San Diego County, to change the lives of as many people as we can over the next calendar year with transformational mentorship, reinforcing people's recovery and reinforcing just healthy tools and healthy guidance, especially healthy masculine, but we'll have feminine energy in there as well. So transformational mentorship, you can see that on the website. Actually, no, don't go to the website yet, because we're about to revamp that whole thing. We're about to take 99% of that shit off and just have 1% of shit on there. And it's gonna be three things. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll keep some of the creative, boom, but like services, we're wiping the slate clean. So we're always shifting. That's the thing with the way I do things is we're always shifting. I go where, I do the job God assigns. That's what someone told me. I do the job God assigns, and, I'm designed to do some cool things where I get to help a lot of people. Ooh. We're listening to Primo instrumentals. That's what we're vibing to today. It's my favorite producer of all time. What about you, Matt? Yeah. I feel like this is hip hop to me. You guys can't hear it, but Primo is the essence of hip hop. Like he when I think of the hip hop in its purest sense, I think of Primo. Let me let that bitch breathe. So what I want to talk about today, hold on. What I want to talk about today is stoicism. That's the first thing that came to mind. Controlling your emotions and putting logic ahead of emotional nature. And that's at least the Stoics that I read and follow. It's very logic based. And my brother, he's very stoic, a little too stoic, a little on the sharp edges, It's a little hard to connect, but I have most of my life been very hard, wearing my heart on my sleeve is an understatement. It's been embarrassing how emotionally driven I've been. And that's just not it anymore. It's not it anymore. Yeah, it's just not it anymore. So yeah, it's I'm studying to try to think before I speak, think before I act, think before I speak, think before I act, and act with kindness, compassion, love, and care. Kindness, compassion, love, and care. From my heart and from my mind. So hearts and minds it comes up so many times in my work. You know, the original podcast is called Hearts and Minds Collective. Right now we have our men's groups where that name was used again. We have the Hearts and Minds Collective men's group that's on every other Wednesday at Maya Moon Cafe. If you want to join, if you're in San Diego and you want to join a group of men's, who are navigating life, changing the community, making impact. So Wednesdays, every other Wednesday. Um, yeah. And then also, we have the Hearts and Minds online group, which is every other Sunday, 5 p.m. This is for my East Coast people. 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. So anyway, Hearts and Minds has been a steady theme because that's what we're drawing on. That's what we're correlating to. That's what we are connecting with. Hearts and Minds. That is the aim here. We want to get you thinking. We want to get you feeling. Peace. Hey. We want to get you thinking. We want to get you feeling. You know. I don't know. I hope I think I provide some thought provoking, concepts here. Try to find some nuance. Try to find some nuance in the way I think about certain things, the way I express certain things. Personal responsibility and radical ownership. Talking about that and talking about sex and the male relationship to sex. By the way, your boy is not having sex and not watching porn still. Your boy's still at it. I just don't do that anymore. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. My sex discipline is pretty. And I think about it, and I'm like, now it's like, oh, should I jerk off? This is the exact conversation. Oh, should I jerk off? And it's like, all right, I'm gonna come in like 45 seconds, watch some weird shit, and then hate myself for 2 days. That's what my jerking is, and it takes me 45 seconds, and I hate myself. So there you go. Now you guys know why I don't jerk off. Matt's laughing. I got Matt laughing. So I don't jerk off. It's pretty easy not to, and that's the succession of events. It's easy. But yeah. So, and I'm not sexually active, and I'm pretty good at not having sex. I'm dating, which is interesting. But here's the deal: I won't have sex with someone unless I'm going to date them. So I'm one of those guys. And do you know where that comes? I'll tell the whole. Let's be honest about it. Let's just talk about it. So the reason that is okay. So as a sex addict, there's not always. This is not always because some sex addicts remain compulsive and they have to work every day to like not be compulsive. But what mine is I was in this hyper sexuality, sleeping with more than one person in a day. So I would jerk off and say, okay, you jerked off. You're not gonna fuck anybody else today. And then I would fuck 2 other people in the same day. Or I would say, okay, you're not gonna text that girl today. And I would be bored and I need some validation. I'd text that girl, then be on like creating this this inappropriate relationship, or I would be masturbating 3 to 5 times a day. So hypersexuality. But what has happened for me, and it's happened for me, because it's I'll explain why it's happened for me. It's been a pendulum swing into hyposexuality, where I don't crave sex. I crave sex very rarely. I could probably go without a year without it, or maybe longer. I just don't care about it, and it was, and psychologically, here's what I want people to understand in this moment is the reason I've traumatized myself, in the sense that I couldn't look in the mirror. I was suicidal, hated life, and it was all through my sex conduct. So like I have a resentment towards my body. I have a resentment towards my penis. I like looking at myself naked, like fucks with me. Like, and then like being naked in front of a girl. I'm just ashamed of my behavior. I'm ashamed of my behavior, and now fuck. Now I'm in this weird this place where like that's why I don't have sex outside of a relationship, because like the person I have sex with, I want to work through that with. And the reason I say it's happening for me is because I've said this before. So from 8 years old until 31, I've had nothing but toxic, dysfunctional, inappropriate sexual relationships. That's all I had. Toxic, dysfunctional, fucking manic. They're just toxic as fuck. So I've had nothing but that. So it's happening for me. God's saying, how about you stop fucking for a little bit? How about you stop having sex for a little bit? Wait till you find someone who you connect with on a deep level. Can you skip the song? Wait till you find someone you connect with on a deep level. Wait till you are able to work through this in a safe environment. And then relearn how to have sex. Because I want healthy sex, and I want sex. Like I have this. I told you about this ring that's around my neck. I'm waiting for spiritual union, and I'd rather be single than have anything less than that. I'd rather be single than have anything less than that. Like I'm moving. I'm trying to buy a place in the next month. Next couple of months. I am buying a place. It's not a trying. Like I'm not thinking about it. Like, oh, maybe. No, I'm definitely doing it, and I'm going to do it by any means necessary. But like I'm a single guy. I'm a single guy. I have my son on weekends. A couple times a month. He lives 2 hours from me. So it ain't what I want it to be. When he starts elementary school, I'll have him every weekend, which would be cool. But it still ain't what I want it to be. But either way, I'm a single guy. You know what else? I get lonely, dog. Ugh. Who else gets lonely? Who else? Am I right? I get so fucking lonely, dude. I sit right here in this spot. This is my spot. I work from here. I do my Zoom calls from here. It's just this image is so correlated with me, and it's gonna change in the next couple of months. So it's gonna be different. We're gonna make a whole different. If we have an extra bedroom, we're gonna make a whole set in another bedroom. So it's gonna be cool. But I get lonely, man. And some people are like, God's always with you. You should never be lonely, or you should be happy being with yourself. I'm happy being with myself sometimes. I'm with God sometimes. Here's my life. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. Pray, read all the books that are on my desk right now. Read all the books. Meditate, pray out loud, and then spend the rest of the morning alone Dylan either is no one's with me, and soon enough, Dylan and I aren't going to live together, so it doesn't even matter. Or my son, when my son's with me, he's up at 6:30. But besides that, I'm up at 4:30 until the rest of the day by myself. It's a lot of alone time. And then I get in the evening, I go to a meeting or I go to some sort of gathering, or I don't, or or hang out with a girl, But I'm fucking lonely, bro. Yeah, I'm lonely, and you know what it is? I'm just not that I don't have friends. I kind of like being lonely, I guess. Do I? Do you think that's what it is? Or like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't feel good. And that's why I'm waiting for this like pair bonding thing, and I'm just working on myself, going to therapy, podcasting, focusing on my business, doing all the right things, doing all the right things for my personal development, and someone will come along that is in the same headspace that I'm in, you know. So yeah. But loneliness, I know what it feels like to be. So this is the human part of this. Also, I feel I'm extroverted in a crowd of people. I'm like talking, hey, nice to see you, good to see you. Da, 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 da. I'm that guy too, but I'm also I work alone. I work right here. I write my programs here. I write all my content here. You know, I've shot content here. Record video content besides the podcast here. So it's just like I'm just, man. I wish I do get out more. Should I go to the club? No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Hold on one second. Let me let that depressing ass shit breathe. But yeah, this is the longest I've been single in a long time. Actually, ever. And it's an interesting experience being single. It's an interesting experience. Like, but I'm like the perfect guy to be single because I don't care about having sex. So it's like that's not a problem. Some guys are like, oh, I need sex every day. I'm like, please don't look at me naked. I'm like, please turn away while I put my clothes back on. So if you thought I was good looking, ladies, trauma, finger guns. So funny. Red flags. Huh, 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 huh. Red flags everywhere. But yeah. Dating in my 30s, but it's crazy that I'm getting to the stage where we're getting into home ownership. It's like, whoa, here we are. I think I'm gonna get a condo or an apartment first. Fix it up, do the floors, do some cool window stuff, and redo a bathroom and a kitchen, in the condo. And unless they have I'm not gonna live in a place that won't let me make renovations, obviously, but go somewhere where they can make renovations and then rent it out. And that's our first investment property. And you live there, and I say we like I'm got someone to do it with. This is mine. See, but I'm a catch. You know what I mean? I think I'm a fucking catch. I don't know. They sleep. It's okay. It'll happen when it happens. But I'm gonna live in it for 5 years. Repaint the whole thing. Do some accent walls. Redo the whole thing. Keep it for 5 years. Pay it down. Rent it out. And then in that 5 years, save up money. For down payment on another house, and leverage that house to buy the new house. And then that way I could buy like the house I want, the house I want, instead of like what I was thinking. I was trying to like buy the house I want right now, but really what I would be doing is settling, because I can't afford to get the house that I want and I deserve, you know? So let's get the condo. Let's be modest, get the condo. Then, you know what? In 5 years, maybe I'll be in the position to move to Ramona, like we've been talking about. Maybe I'll be just super, what's the word? Like unattached, where I could just bounce. And I was talking about being lonely, but go out to Ramona and get a farm, get a ranch, and get some horses and get some chickens. Be the liberal New York farmer, the liberal New York black farmer. Let me just put it that way. Go even further. The liberal New York neck tattooed black farmer. Gang, son. No, but who knows where we end up? But it's cool to be in this adult phase, this adult transmutation, whatever you want to call it. I'm just making up words. How we doing time? 22? Cool, man. Let's get a message today. Let's get a message. What do I do when I'm lonely? So what do I do when I'm lonely? This morning, okay, there was 2 points today where I was quite lonely. So what I do that doesn't fail is I meditate. I light my candle. So right now, what I'm looking at is, and I posted on my story, it's a fireplace. In that fire, and it's so, my spirituality is so weird. We can talk about that too. So the fireplace with, this beat is fuego. There's a fireplace with a Buddha in it, and all the old candles that we burned in there, and then 4 newer candles that I light every morning. And I sit in front of the Buddha, but what I play is Christian worship, and I pray to God. I never say Jesus. I never say Jesus or any God's name, but I pray to God out loud. That's another thing. Oh, let's talk about that. So there's prayer in your head, right? Like I can say I'm praying right now, but I could also say I'm saying fucked up shit in my head right now. A lot of mess goes on in there when in silence. So you can say you're praying, but you can veer off different directions. When you are praying out loud, you're singularly focused on the prayer, and you're intentional with each word, and you're focused on each word, and you're fully in the experience, and then it feels different to me. It feels like I never pray for myself. The only thing, what I pray? I pray for myself. I pray that every dollar that God blesses me with and continues to bless me with, I am able to steward it in the way that He desires. So every dollar that I'm blessed with, I want to be able to be responsible and steward it in an honorable way. That's what I pray for. But the rest of the time, I'm praying for all my friends, my son's mom, my kid, my parents, out loud. So that's one thing I do when I'm lonely, is I talk to God. And another thing I do when I'm lonely is sit in front of my computers and start getting creative. Write some posts. Like we're changing some logos, so I'll call. I'm on the phone with my team all the time. On the phone with Brandy. She runs social media and does a bunch of other stuff. She like keeps my life together. She would hit me up like, "Are you okay today? Because you were depressed as fuck the other day." I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." But like, the team holds me down. They're enrolled in the vision. They're enrolled in the vision. So I'll be on the phone with the team. Making new plans, new ideas. I'm trying to get creative and create something cooler each year. Like the podcast graphics of, like, if you look at the podcast background from last year to the podcast background this year, it's nicer, right? It's got nice. Like I was looking at old clips. Now it just improves, and then if you look before that, it continues to improve. It continues to get better. So yeah, I don't know. We just continue to make it better, man. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You know, if in a perfect world, which is we're getting to this perfect world. We're getting there. In the next by the end of this year, we'll be in this perfect world where I'll just be coaching at the level that I should be coaching, and doing this. You know, with this community, with this San Diego County project, I get to do that with at a very high level with a very select group of people who don't typically. It's not very specific, but underserved communities that where people don't get to, because you know how much sober coaching is. If you like sober coaching, sober companionship, I charge $1,000 a day to live with someone while they're trying to stay sober. So that's sober companionship, $7,000 a week. You know, $2,000 for 2 days if you want to work with me. Sober coaching is between $150 and $250 an hour, just to be coached for an hour and a half, 2 hours. We're providing for this community grant project. We're providing that for free. Those services for the coaching for free for X amount of we've committed to a certain number of people. And on top of that, we're going to be we'll be doing workshops. We're doing workshops, educational and peer support. And we'll be creating community. And was from ages 16 to 45. So if you live in San Diego County and you or a loved one are struggling with substance abuse disorder, go to info.bigmoodcommunity@gmail.com. If I said the email wrong, Matt will change it on the board. But yeah, we're really gonna get a chance to shift the community. So that's why I get to do it on board. I get to get creative. It's all about helping other people. And I tell people, it's like, how do we make massive impact? How do we make massive impact? I want this podcast to make massive impact. I want all the work that I do to make massive. Boom. We are here, dude. We're changing the world. Money's cool, but I'm not counting the money. I'm not counting the money. That ain't what I'm doing. I'm calculating the impact. How are we doing on time? 30? Cool. So that's what I do when I'm lonely. I get creative, and I also connect. I do have a lot of friends that live all over, and I talk to them all day. I talk to my friends all day and have like great friendships that we don't really hang out that much because I don't leave the house, because part of me doesn't want to leave the house, for whatever reason. That's why me moving into my own like real own place is gonna be so good, because I already don't like to leave the crib. So now I'm just gonna make this crib into like the perfect hut where I don't ever have to leave. You know what I mean? It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. But yeah, I have great friends. But anyway, we're gonna wrap it up. Athena's making weird noises. So if you're listening, rate, share, subscribe. When you're lonely, get creative. When you're lonely, pray. It doesn't matter who you're praying to, dude. I don't know who God is, but I know I ain't it. How about that? Take that home. Write that down. I don't know who God is, but I ain't it. So when you're lonely, spend some time with whatever source energy keeps you alive, and get creative, whether it be in a business or drawing art, whether your artworks, writing. You know it's a cool one? Writing Instagram posts. You can say like, oh, I don't give a fuck about Instagram. How about you go on Instagram and be authentic and just write a cool Instagram post if you're bored and you need to get creative. And like, don't be ashamed of putting yourself out there and like sharing yourself. You know, that's, you're bored, you put yourself out there. But you know, we're never alone though. We're never alone. Dating's hard. Being single in my 30s is hard. Please don't look at me naked. And we'll wrap it up. Peace.